Hey guys, this is Hector from the Insert Name FC podcast, here to tell you guys about Canada Dips. It is a great tasting, superior alternative to traditional dip using CBD in a way that is radical, enjoyable, and effective. It comes in 5 core flavors: wintergreen, mint, citrus, mango, and American spice. Canada Dip CBD is the new evolution in dip, allowing guys to enjoy great, long-lasting taste without the downsides. If you guys want to go ahead and try them out, use the code BellyUp20 at CanadaDipCBD.com. Once again, BellyUp20 at CanadaDipCBD.com, and you'll get yourself 20% off your purchase. Thank you again for Canada Dips for being a great partner of BellyUpSports. Jesse Marsch has gotten a new job, and it is with the Canadian national team. That is correct. The American has now gotten a job since getting sacked by Leeds United back in February of 2023. He will be in charge of Canada for the 2024 Copa America, which I'm believing that this is maybe Canada's preparation for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. At least that's the idea of why you're going to have Jesse Marsch, is to be your man to get this team. Now, Canada has been kind of like a sneaky, on the cusp kind of CONCACAF nation. We've seen them get better over the years. Obviously, now having more players that are playing in Europe. Obviously, Alphonso Davies is the main one that everyone thinks about. But obviously, Jonathan David, a name that we're hoping at some point we're going to see him make his mark in Europe. But I think a solid group of players, nonetheless, that they have over there in Canada. And unfortunately, they haven't been able to really take full advantage. They still haven't been able to win a Gold Cup. They still haven't been able to win a Nations League trophy. So they've been pretty close, but still no cigar for Canada. And maybe this is the opportunity for Jesse Marsch. Now, I think that there's a theme between the two, which is that both of them need something going to. Both Canada and Jesse Marsch need something to go right for them. And the reason why I say that is because let's be honest, with Jesse Marsch, there was a lot of job opportunities. He was looked at as the next promising manager, at least for an American standpoint. And after he got sacked by Leeds United, he did get offers for Birmingham City, which I don't blame him for not taking that job because Wayne Rooney did such a shit-tastic job with that team. There was potential going to take over South Korea after Jurgen Klinsmann. And then obviously the big one, which was what many of us were hoping for, including myself, which was for him to be the next manager of the U.S. men's national team, which clearly didn't happen. He ended up getting snubbed by Greg Berhalter. Which, I mean, he went in on an interview with Jimmy Conrad and kind of talked about that, but obviously he doesn't feel anything negative towards US. What happened. And he's just excited about the opportunity with Canada. Now, if you ask me, I think that the US fumbled the bag massively. I'm not here telling you guys that Jesse Marsch is the best manager in the world, because he's not. Especially when you look at his track record as recently, because I'll be honest with you, shit hasn't been good for him since RB Salzburg. When he took over RB Leipzig after Julian Nagelsmann left to go with Bayern Munich, there were some issues in that locker room. It didn't work out, and they just ended up cutting ties with him. And then he goes to Leeds United. He keeps them afloat for the next season, but obviously Leeds United just had their struggles, and he was sacked in February of last year. So, like I said, Jesse Marsch also needs this opportunity to work out for him because, well, it didn't pan out for him over there in his last 2 jobs. So he needs a spark. He needs to get back into the discussion. And when you look at Canada, once again, a team that we thought, hey, man, this team's going to be someone to look at for, in the future, especially when you had Alphonso Davies. And I think maybe we kind of got a little blindsided from that. We thought because of Alphonso Davies' team, but remember, the reality with international teams is that one player just can't do it all for you. We've learned that many times. Even Messi cannot do it all by himself. You need a team around you. And I mean, yes, there was names that were Canadian that were, making their push. I mean, Ayo Akinola is a player that I have a personal soft spot for, and that's just because of playing EA Sports FC. But yeah, so like Canada, a team where a lot of people are like, hey, this team might be really good, and haven't necessarily done it yet. They haven't necessarily competed with USA and Mexico. Especially now where the way Mexico is looking right now, people were hoping that maybe we'll see Canada now become the new threat to the US, but that hasn't happened yet either. So both Canada and the U and Jesse Marsch need each other to get back on track and become what their hype was all for. So it actually, in some sense, it makes a lot of sense for these two to join forces. And as much as I don't like seeing Jesse Marsch manage Canada, I get it. I get it 100%. And unfortunately, I have to continue trying to support Greg Berhalter, which I really don't. I don't really do that at all. I have not done that. I've been very pessimistic with Greg Berhalter, and I now have to live with it. I just have to accept it. Do I wish Jesse Marsch was coaching USA? Yes. I think anything would be better than Greg Berhalter coaching the US, but that's just me. But there is that. So, like I said, Jesse Marsch now managing Canada. We'll see what happens. How he, what's his approach? What's his identity with Canada? Because I think that there's something there. It just needs to be unlocked to see what really this Canadian team can really be all about. And so we'll see how Jesse Marsch works with that team and uses the resources that it has, which is, like I said, Jonathan David and Alfonso Davies, on how he's going to work with that team and see how far they can go in Copa America. I don't expect them to go super far. I got to look at the groups again. But like I say, we'll get that when we're more closer down the road. But yeah, so there is that, man. But Jesse Marsch going to Canada.